old Nintendo gamer.
And son.
What have you been up to, Nick?
Not a lot, really. I'm going to be very brief. I said at the start of the year I've got some games that I'm close to finished that I'm going to finish off, and I've done 2 of them this week. The first one was Part-Time UFO, which I was already pretty much at the end of, so I did the final couple of missions, and then I did the final boss, and the final boss was really fun. It's very, very different from the rest of the game, but it's still using the same mechanics. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was really enjoyable and kind of surprising, actually, how it worked, how well it worked. The game took me 2 hours to beat overall, which is the perfect length. The difficulty definitely increases as you play it more. In every level you have 3 missions to do. You get 3 stars, so I've got to go back and do a lot of them. And then when you complete the game, you unlock harder versions of those levels. So basically every level can be played twice. You've got 3 challenges in easy and in hard, so that if you want to keep going, there's lots and lots and lots of content there. After you beat the game, you unlock a tropical island, which is like an adventure mode. So again, using the UFO, the same mechanics, you're moving through a temple basically. So I tried that. I died. Unfortunately, I ran out of time. So that's I think it's only 7 levels. It's not very long, basically. But that's another little extra thing that you can do. So even though the game is absolutely dirt cheap to beat,
£8.
I think it's actually less, isn't it? Is it not? Is it not cheaper than that? But yeah, you can finish it in a couple of hours. But there's loads and loads and loads of stuff to do if you want to keep going. So I would recommend picking it up. I think if you're unsure, if you sat on the fence, go read HOT's review on the website. I think he's done a good job of summarising what it's all about. I've played it for just over 3 hours, and I've enjoyed it so far. I will try and do a bit more, but I'm not desperate. I have beaten it now. And then last night, I did the final boss on Luigi's Mansion 3. So I was up to the final floor, and you have to find 4 keys. I don't know if you remember, Lee. There's like 4 individual rooms, and you have to get a key in each room, and there's lasers. You have to deactivate the lasers, then get the key. Quite tricky, quite frustrating, but I did it in the end. And then you fight the what's her name? The woman, the ghost.
With the long hair.
Yeah. That was quite a tough fight. Using Luigi under the floor and using Luigi in the main room. It was quite a nice boss fight though. It didn't take me too long. I did it first time. But then you fight King Boo at the end. And that was an absolute nightmare. I died 3 or 4 times. And yeah, it's just weird because it's inconsistent. Like every time I was expecting him to do something, like the patterns would follow each other the same to some extent, but other times it would be completely different. So when he throws a bomb at you, that's your opportunity to hit him back. But the thing is, the time that he would wait for you to hit him changed every time. It was never the same. Sometimes he'd wait a long time, it'd be really easy to hit him, and sometimes he would just go straight into the next move, and you'd be like struggling to avoid his attack and hit him with the bomb, usually ending up missing him. So luckily, as it gets more difficult, there are more health drops. So at the beginning it's kind of slow, kind of not so difficult. You can avoid everything pretty easily, and then King Boo splits into 2 and then eventually 3. But because there's so much stuff coming at you, there's actually quite a lot of stuff that's getting destroyed around you, which drops a heart. So it's kind of easy to stay alive. But the final part of the boss battle, you only have 4 minutes to kill him. And that's what I struggled with, because there's 3 of them, you have to hit the real one. And I couldn't figure out which one was the real one. And it was very frustrating. Lots of swear words. Like you.
I can't remember if he gives a little tell, which one's
maybe
the real
he does,
one.
but I couldn't pick up on it. So yeah, but I did it eventually, and the ending cutscene and the credits are pretty cool. Quite a nice little thing. So yeah, I still thought that was a fantastic game. I've got that to go back through and finish 100%. I missed a few of the gems on some of the floors. So yeah, I would say probably the best Switch game of the last couple of years, Luigi's Mansion 3. for sure. I really enjoyed it.
I bet you got all the booze to go as well, yeah?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I never went. I saw the credits and there was nothing about going back through the mansion and getting the booze. So I was kind of surprised about that because I saw the credits roll and there was nothing. So I don't know if that's
found none of them.
That must be a post game thing then.
I can't. It must be. It must be. I can't remember beating the game and going back. Whether I can't. I'm not too sure, Nick. Where they come into it, but I'm sure I collected them all before beating King Boo for the first time.
Okay.
But it was like knocking on King Boo's door and thought, right, I'll go back and collect everything, all the crystals and stuff I hadn't done, and then go back to King Boo and finish him off.
Maybe that's why then, yeah.
The one thing that bothered me with King Boo is I couldn't work out how to, when he gets his tongue out and you got to suck his tongue. It's like...
You have to use both of them, don't you?
Yeah. And I was there going, well, it's not working. There's nothing working. And you completely forget, I've got Luigi as well. And you got to use two of them. I think I died a few times trying to work that out. Yeah. Because it just doesn't tell him.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the bosses are a real highlight of the game, but you really have to know all the stuff that you've got to figure out how to defeat them, because there's some of them are really tricky to figure out. I would say the one in the movie theater took me a very long time because I couldn't figure out how to actually get him on the end of my Hoover initially. I was flashing the light, I was trying to do the jumping move where you spread the dust around you and everything. I couldn't figure out how to actually start winding down his health. That took me a good 20 minutes, I think, to do that. So they're every boss in itself is a kind of puzzle. But I really enjoyed this game. I finished it in just under 20 hours. It was 19 and a half hours or something. So in terms of length, easily the longest Luigi's Mansion game. Easily. And one that I would definitely like to go through again at some point in the future from start to finish. I enjoyed it that much. I want to see some of those set pieces and some of those levels again. So yeah, great job. So happy Next Level Games are going to be part of Nintendo now, because that is a really, really solid game they've made.
And I think it'd be even more enjoyable for the second time as well, because the boss tells and all that.
Yeah, exactly. You could probably go through it a bit quicker. I got an A ranking at the end, so I'm guessing an S is the highest one. But I did miss, as I said, miss a few gems. I ended up with 800,000, 850,000 gold, whatever G, the money. So I'm guessing you need to get over 1 million for an S ranking. So that's something to try again in the future. I managed to do it in the original. I did get an S eventually after a few goes. So yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed it a lot.
That was one for you to finish off as well, Greg, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's one that I'm actually feeling eager to get back to. Actually, it might not be too much longer. Glad to hear it's turned out pretty well.
It is a great game. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.